and she returns. Part two, moving on. You're with the person. And now, guess what? This individual is stepping up. We don't give enough recognition. And that's important because that takes a lot. For somebody to have that much love for an individual, that they love them, including the individuals that they brought to life. So you have the woman. She comes in and she loves this man so much that she says, guess what? I'm going to be with you. I love you and your child. We don't have them conversations a lot, but there are many relationships where this happens. One of the people, I'm going to use a celebrity example. Russell and Sierra, they're married. Now, here it is. When she met him, she already had a child. I mean, they are actually a beautiful couple. I'm not saying that everything is peaches and cream, but at some point, this is an example of a step parent. He's been there. He's a step parent. Even though they've had their own children together, he started in this relationship as a step parent. They have a beautiful family. There's other couples. T.I. and Tiny, his wife. She came into the relationship, both of them came into the relationship and they married and they were step parents. But you wouldn't know it. It's just because the media be all in a lot of the celebrities' lives that we get access to what's really going on with them. But that's a beautiful thing because a lot of times it's highlighted where it's that that's not what happens. The father of my children, he actually wind up getting married. Later on in life, you know what I'm saying, we all mature. But I respected the position that his wife treated my children with love and respect. It was even where that my daughter got sick, and even though me and the wife was not bestie and buddies, she moved like a mother, and I respected that. So I bring this conversation up because you have the women who are stepmothers to children that they did not biologically bear, and then there are men who are stepfathers to children who that did not, they are not biologically there. But yet they choose to be there for these children no matter what. They step in and they do the job even when the parent, the biological parent, is fully able. Now it hurts because I've even seen situations where their relationships have ended, but the step parent and the children are so tight that guess what? That bond ain't going nowhere. They're gonna be together. And then it takes a lot because when it comes down to legalities and things like that, they don't have no power. And that makes it bad, especially in times of death, disease, you know what I mean? Loss of a loved one. But I wanted to make this video because based off of my life and my experience, when I was told that guess what? You got all these children, ain't nobody gonna want you. They did. And they married me. So the step parent, not quite sure where the step comes from. Probably should have did a little bit more research, but check it out. Let's see. But the step parent, my children were so close and they loved their stepfather because it was nothing step that he did or made it seem because it was always like, man, I love you as your father and I'm here and I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to even be on you when I know that you're not doing right and you may not like me in that moment. But guess what? It doesn't matter because I love you more that I'm not worried about you being mad at me. And I love that in him. That's how I knew he loved him. He told me that his father told him, you feed them enough, they're going to look like you. He fed them and clothed them, that they loved him tremendously. And I'm not here to debate on which one you see more, whether you see more stepfathers or whether you see more stepmothers. I'm saying those those titles exist because people are doing those jobs, even though it's not a focus of the step. They love this child and they're going to be there. They just don't get a lot of recognition. And so then if the relationship turns sour, then yeah, there can be some harsh, bad things that are bringing sad. But let's put some light and acknowledge all the good stuff that these individuals do, and he's not their children. I got a cousin who her stepfather was around for her for a long time, and it was just as though it was his dad, her daddy, and her stepfather never had children. Those are even cases to where it's that individuals are stepping up in other children's lives who are not theirs, and they don't even have it. That's a hell of a salute too. But I just thought to myself, think about the ones that being a step parent and they got their own children, they being a parent. Mm, you taking care of somebody else's child and you tending to yours. And depending on the dynamics, if the children were very, very young, no telling how long that they've been in their life, that the children definitely don't even see no step nothing. That's mommy or daddy. And the parent, the one labeled step, the one that steps up, doesn't even phase the stress it because they love them like it's their own. Decisions are made to where that relationships are not able to flourish or continue or grow, whatever the case is. But as individuals, especially those who are parents, we need to do better at making sure that the children don't become affected by it. I love when I hear stories of individuals say, man, my dad was amazing. He is amazing. My stepdad is amazing. He was amazing. They had that bond with both. My stepmother, man, she's been there for me. My stepmother is amazing. I love how she's always. I love it. And it takes a lot. Whatever the dynamics is, whether the dynamics are highly negative or highly positive, it's still a lot. And that speaks volumes of the character of the individual that chooses to say, man, I love you even though you're not my blood. So family is way more than just blood. The ones that step up and show out and let you know I love you. True story. I actually met my stepfather before I met my father. And I didn't know nothing about no step nothing. I always thought this was my father. I've always been around. I have so many truths and so many testimonies to tell that I don't give out everything because I'm a writer and I have so many novels and manuscripts that I'm actually, putting together. You see, I've already published 2 books, but nevertheless, he was a great, great influence in my life. And the thing is, this is that it was like when it was told to me that this not your dad, huh? I didn't understand it. That's all I knew. But it wasn't because my mother just pumped this to me. It was just because that's who all I was around. So it's that when I finally did meet my father, I had an attitude. Later on, I found out it was my mother's doing keeping me from my father. that's a whole nother podcast and we'll get on. The thing is this is that, but the fact is this man stepped in and stepped up to take care of me in so many ways. So I wanted to make sure that we acknowledge those parents that step up, those adults that love individuals and the children enough to say, guess what? It ain't about blood right now. And I know some of y'all out there, male and female, are going back and forth and struggling because guess what? You might actually like someone. But you're thinking like, am I ready for this? She got children. He got children. Now, if you've been through some things and you choosing to create boundaries to where is it that it aids and supports you maintaining your peace, I'm all for that. I will not debate that and not go against that. But if it's because you doubt that you don't think that you have the ability or you don't think that this will work because what? You don't think the child can do this? No. Don't doubt yourself because if you love her or you love him, then you love what they made. And that's just genuinely a connection. Is it a big responsibility? Of course it is. At the same time, it's like it's all about what it is that you are willing to do. And I've seen it. You know what I mean? I know. The the stepfather that was in my children's life didn't have any children. So my children got what it is that they need because he knew they needed it. And I love when I am witness to a man like that because it's like, wow, it's been told to many females that have children that you ain't gonna get you one like that. And you'll start believing and thinking like, I'm not worthy. Nobody, nobody wants me. That's not true, baby. And men, there are women that choose not to want to be in a relationship because you have children. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm one of those ones. I'm in a relationship now, but I've grown to the point to where that in any event that me and my relationship doesn't work out currently, I don't want anyone that has a child under 18. Those are my standards. That's a whole nother podcast too, and it's coming. But the thing is this, you got to get to what, once again, I said earlier, aid supports and maintains your emotional and mental peace. So for me, that is one of them. I brought it up because I know there are some men who are good men, who are fathers, that miss out on relationships because the women have decided, you got children, this and that. I'm going to say this to the women too. Be open. The same way that you want men to be open to see and date you, even with your children, don't put that stigma on them. That is really a discussion that we need to have because the thing is, this is that it makes it difficult for relationships to blossom or flourish because they're not even able to connect because that issue arises and it shouldn't be an issue. These are my children. It's like you saying, no, I don't want no parts because you think it's going to be a problem. Well, they say, well, why are you saying it? I'm going to tell you why I said none under 18 because I don't have any under 18. And I know where my heart is. And so at the end of the day, if I know that the individual that is my significant other has a child under 18 and they need some help with them, I'm going to help them. I did enough. I keep my life open for my children and my grandchildren. Those are my boundaries. But I've also been my husband now for 15 years. So, like I say, the dating game for me gonna be in the event that I ever had to get back out there, I got certain standards. But I know I watched that TV show Pop the Balloon, and as soon as the men would say, I got children, I got children, pop the balloon. Hey. And it looked like well, I know some of these women were younger, but they're younger than me. So late 20s, early 30s. But the thing is, this is that I look at it as a contradiction because if you have children, is it fair to say that you don't want to date a man that has children, but you want him to date you? So we got to think about that because when a person steps up in a relationship, when a person steps up in a relationship to take care of some children that are not theirs, oh wow, that's amazing. And with the way that the dating scene is, there's a higher percentage of individuals who are single with children, meaning that you're going to connect with somebody who has more than likely had a child prior to your meeting. And so now that adds on, especially if you're vibing and you're connecting, the chemistry is flowing. Now, oh, you got children. And don't make it seem like that because guess what? That hurts too. That's not a bad thing. I had a life before I met you. Ooh, guess what? Ooh, y'all seen it? Guess what just came to my dang old man? The Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch. It's the way we became the Brady Bunch. What a perfect example. I didn't even think of it. It was like Spirit was talking to me. Y'all seen me do the look, ooh, oh. I can't make this stuff up. But nevertheless, exactly. For those of y'all who don't know, this is a whole TV show where you have a man who got 3 boys and you have a woman who has 3 daughters. Don't quote me. I'm not quite sure what happened to their spouse, but they were no longer with that individual, whether it because they passed, something happened. But I think they might have passed because we never seen them. But the thing is this is that, let's see. And yes, I'm going to attempt to try to sing it. Dun, 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 dun. Here's a story of a lovely lady who was bringing up 3 very lovely girls. All of them had hair of gold, like their mother, the youngest one in curls. Here's a story of a man named Brady who was bringing up 3 men on his own. There were 4 men living all together. Yes, they were all alone. Till the one day when the lady met this fella, and they knew they were much more than a hunch, that this crew would somehow form a family. And that's the way they became the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch. Oh my goodness. I can't even remember. I can't believe I remember all the words, but it's the truth. And if you watched the show and you really didn't know and understand that dynamic, you wouldn't have known that those were 2 step parents. And we watched this family go through different things. These 3 girls, these 3 boys. And the thing is, this is that you did not know that they were not. In the beginning, it was a challenge to let them know we're family, we're here. So the children had to deal with this new and adjust to this new ground. But the truth of the matter is that as you watched it and you watched the show of each sick each episode, you're like, wow, you could not tell nothing was stepped in. And I appreciate Spirit sharing that with me because I totally have forgot about the Brady Bunch. I was just speaking on the parent that stepped up. Now, I'm thinking of some black ones, you know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, I'm not able to, part in my community. But the thing is this thing, yes. So I'm going to say this to you step parents out there that have stepped up in a child's life based off of the love you have for their parent. I want to give you a round of applause, a salute, and say thank you from the human race that you had a heart enough that at the end of the day, it wasn't about the bloodline that this child carried. It was about the love that you had and you wanted to give it to them. Man, big up. And if you are a stepchild, especially one that was taken care of, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I mean. You know what I'm speaking of. And guess what? It's a good feeling. So yes, I didn't drink my tea, but I'm gonna share with y'all my tea. So I always I love acronyms, and I made an acronym out of tea. And since I'm always drinking it and I enjoy the soothingness of it, I created an acronym as far as what the T will represent. TEA. So the T stands for thankfulness. The E stands for experience. And the A stands for accomplishment. Now, when we're thinking about T, I'm going to say my thankfulness is cold in Chicago. It's cold in Chicago. We had wind chills that was below 10, 20 degrees. And we have homeless people. Whether it's their choice or by force, we have it out. I'm thankful that I have a roof over my head. I don't have to be out in this cold. I'm warm. I got tea. I got heat. I got a bed. I got covers. So my thankfulness today of my tea is my thankfulness that I have a warm roof over my head when others have nowhere to go. And I pray that that scenario and that situation get better for them. And I pray those are in a position that could be able to help, as they say, do the part. I'm grateful that I'm able to do the parts that I'm able to do when I do it. And I'm thankful that I'm not in that situation. Now, Spirit is pulling me towards this because the E, it stands for experience. And since we're talking about it, I'm going to just share that the experience that I had that make me feel so thankful. I was once homeless. Me and my children. That's why I'm so passionate about the stories that I share, because they is based on a true story. And even though my children and I didn't have to sleep in the cold, we slept in the car before. And I did that once to them, and I wouldn't do it again. I humbled myself to ways that I could make sure that I had to bite my tongue if I had to walk on eggshells in order to be here, to give them a place to lay their head until I'm able to get in better places. Yeah. So my experience is that being homeless allowed me to be thankful for not having to be outside in the cold. My accomplishment, I got stability. I was able to go from homeless to stable. I've been in the same place almost 20 years. And that's a big accomplishment for me, which is the A and T. It's hard. The parent that stepped up to my children taught me so much. You could almost say it was one of those scenarios where he seen something in me. He said, I'm going to take you home. No, Mary. This was like in a month. And we hadn't even been intimate. But the thing is this, is that he seen it. I didn't believe in that. I didn't think that was possible. And he would always tell me, I want to teach you, because if anything happens to me, I need you to be strong and stand up. And I didn't understand that until I got in those situations where I had to be strong, stand up. And as I said earlier, I'm still standing. And for those of you who get hit with trials and tribulations, if you're reading this, if you're looking at this, if you touch your heart or you touch the middle of your chest and you feel that heartbeat, Make sure you give gratitude because you're still here for a reason. I'm going to get ready to end this magnificent, beautiful time that I had with you all sharing. And I get called from spirit to speak on these topics. And I love being able to share them with you all because, man, it makes me feel good. And I know that there is somebody out there that is going to touch, is going to connect with. And anybody that knows me, they know, yeah, that's true. They're, what I'm saying, my receipts and evidence because they've been around. That's exactly why I had to make sure that I embrace fully my godmother energy. I got to be here to let you know. I got a shoulder, I got a hug, I got much love. Even with my wounds and my scars, I'm still standing. I want you to know you are too. So I want you to be great. I want you to continue to be amazing. Be open and receptive to individuals who want to give you a chance because they see they're interested. Hey, believe in yourself too. Make sure you grab my book, Lady in the Triumph, and set your ship to sail. These are your next good reads. Please, if you have not already, like, share, and subscribe. This is the Godmother sending you much love. Have an amazing day.